I never thought I'd be writing something like this, but here I am. My name's Jake, and I've been with my wife, Emily, for about 5 years now. We met in college, both chasing degrees, and things seemed solid enough at first. She was ambitious, sharp, kinda bitchy, but in that attractive way. I always thought we had a good thing going, supportive, comfortable, stable, or so I thought. We recently graduated, and we had this big celebration with family and friends. It was supposed to be a moment of pride, a milestone. I was proud of Emily. She had worked her ass off, and I was proud to see her finally get her degree and move forward. I took a lot of pictures, tried to soak it all in. Looking back now, I realize I was kinda caught up in the moment, not paying attention to anything else. But in the weeks that followed, I started noticing weird little things. Emily acting distant, defensive even when I'd ask her about her day. She'd lie about where she was going, who she was talking to. She'd get defensive when I brought it up, say I was overthinking or paranoid. I shrugged it off at first, told myself I was just being insecure. That's what she kept telling me, too. How I was just paranoid, how she was tired from graduation chaos, how she needed space. Then I noticed her phone. She was always hiding it, even more than usual. I'd catch her deleting messages, or she'd rush to lock the screen when I came near. I started casually checking her messages when she wasn't paying attention, just out of curiosity. Nothing obvious at first, just little flirtatious texts with her friends or stuff about work. But then I started noticing some names I didn't recognize, numbers that weren't saved, messages that seemed a little too intimate, a little too familiar. One night, I came home early from work, something came up, and I decided to surprise her. I knew she'd said she was out with some friends, but I thought I'd check. I went into the apartment and everything seemed normal until I saw her phone on the coffee table. It was unlocked, and I'd never seen her leave it unlocked before. I was hesitant, kind of nervous, but I picked it up. I saw a message thread with someone named Chris. Now, I didn't know anyone by that name, but the way she responded, the tone, it was obvious they were more than just friends. Flirty, suggestive, even a little explicit. That's when everything changed. I read enough to know they had been doing more than just exchanging casual texts. This wasn't about publication discussions or some innocent college project. It was about sex. I saw her talk about meeting up, about the excitement, about how they couldn't keep their hands off each other. I felt a punch to the gut. I could feel my face get hot with rage and betrayal. I didn't even know what I was feeling first: hurt, anger, confusion. All I knew is that I'd caught her. I wanted to confront her right then and there, but I hesitated. I needed to plan. I needed to see if there was more. I started digging through her texts, her emails, trying to get a full picture. Things were worse than I thought. Not just a one-time thing, this was ongoing. They had been sneaking around for weeks, maybe months. I even found pictures she sent him, close-up shots of her in bed, her lying on her back with her legs spread, her lips parted. It was disgusting, and I felt so humiliated. How could she do this to me, to us? The next day, I decided I couldn't stay quiet. I told her I knew everything. I confronted her, and that's when the shit hit the fan. She looked at me like I was crazy, like I'd lost my mind. She kept denying it, calling me paranoid, saying I must have misunderstood. She said she was just talking about publishing opportunities, that Chris was just a colleague, and I was blowing things out of proportion. But the evidence didn't lie, those texts, those pictures, the way she responded to him. It was all there. She got furious, calling me insecure and saying I was overreacting. She even had the nerve to tell me I needed to trust her, that I was making a mountain out of a molehill. She called me jealous and accused me of spying. It was all so typical, her lying, her twisting the story, trying to make me doubt myself. I felt sick. I couldn't believe I was married to someone like her. I never thought I'd be in this position, having to confront my wife about her cheating. That's where I am now, stuck between disbelief and rage. I keep replaying everything in my head, trying to understand how she could do this, how I missed all the signs. I even wonder if I was blind or just stupid. Honestly, I feel like I lost a part of myself that day. How do you even trust someone after you find out they've been lying and sneaking around? How do you forgive? I don't even know what I want anymore, but I know this isn't something I can ignore. After that confrontation, things didn't get easier. Not at all. Emily kept up her act of denial, but I could see the cracks in her facade. She was furious, insulted, and she threw around words like crazy, jealous, and insecure to dismiss everything I said. Her tone was bitchy, and she made it clear she thought I was overreacting, that I was just a paranoid husband who couldn't handle her success or her independence. Honestly, her reaction made me even angrier. How dare she call me insecure when she's out there cheating on me? And with her department advisor, no less. That man, Dave, was supposed to be a respected professional, and she was screwing him behind my back during our graduation celebration. I couldn't believe how brazen she was being. I remember the moment vividly. She was sitting on the couch, arms crossed, eyes flashing with anger and contempt as she yelled at me. "You're so paranoid, Jake. You see what you want to see. I was just talking to Dave about my research, nothing more. You're accusing me of cheating. That's stupid. You're making up stories because you're insecure. Grow up." That was her way of dismissing everything. She kept insisting she was innocent, that I was reading into things, that I was just jealous because I didn't have her accomplishments. But I knew better. I knew what I saw, what I read. And it wasn't just innocent conversation. It was flirtatious, suggestive, and there were real feelings involved. I could tell by her tone, by the way she responded to him, like she was aroused, like she was enjoying the attention. And the fact that she lied so easily, spun such a convincing story about discussing publication opportunities, made me realize how deep her deception ran. She was a bitch about it, too, snarky, dismissive. Full of contempt, she threw in a few insults about how I was obsessed and how she deserved better than to be harassed like this. That night I couldn't sleep. My mind kept racing. I kept asking myself how I missed all the signs. I thought we had a good relationship, but maybe I was just blind to the truth. Maybe I had been blind all along. I started questioning everything about us. Was she really that bitchy and manipulative? Did I even know her? Or was I just fooling myself into thinking we had something real? The betrayal cut deep. I'd always believed she loved me, that I was her partner in life. But now I saw her for what she truly was, a liar, a cheater, someone who would risk everything for a quick fuck with her damn advisor. In the days that followed, I decided I needed to take some time to think. I couldn't just explode and then get back to normal. I started gathering evidence, screenshots, her emails, even some voice recordings I managed to make when she was ranting about how I was crazy for suspecting her. I knew I had to be prepared if I decided to confront her again, or if I wanted to end things. Every time I saw her, I felt like a fool. She had this condescending, bitchy attitude, like she was better than me, and I hated how she dismissed my feelings as jealousy or insecurity. But I also felt a strange mixture of sadness and anger. Sad because I loved her, or at least I thought I did. And angry because she played me for a fool. She made me feel like I was losing my mind, like I was overreacting. But I was. I knew what I saw and what I read. And I knew she was lying. That moment during the graduation celebration when I was taking photos with my family, those memories are now tainted. I kept imagining her with Dave in his office behind closed doors while I was out there pretending everything was fine. It's like a bad joke, but it's real and it's my life. Now I'm at a crossroads. Do I confront her again? Do I try to work things out? Or do I just walk away? Honestly, part of me still hopes she'll admit the truth and apologize, but I doubt she ever will. She's too bitchy to accept blame, too narcissistic to admit she's wrong. But I know I can't stay with someone who disrespects me that deeply. The betrayal runs too deep and my trust is shattered. I don't know what's worse, the fact that she cheated or how easily she lied about it. I guess I'm writing all this out because I need to get it off my chest. I've been carrying this weight around for days now, and it's eating me up inside. I want to believe I'll come out of this stronger, but right now I just feel numb. I keep thinking about all the moments I thought we had, the plans we made, and how she just threw it all away for some sick fling. How the hell do you rebuild trust after this? How do you even look at her without feeling disgusted? I don't have the answers yet, but I know one thing for sure. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. After the initial shock and anger started to settle, I realized I had a decision to make. I couldn't keep pretending everything was okay. not when I had concrete proof that my wife Emily had been sneaking around with her damn advisor Dave. I felt humiliated, betrayed, and honestly, a little sick to my stomach. But the worst part was knowing that she was lying so effortlessly, calling me paranoid, saying she was just discussing her research, that I was insecure. The audacity of her, twisting everything to make herself look innocent when she was the one cheating during our graduation celebration. For God's sake. I told myself I needed a plan, a way to confront her without just losing it or making a fool of myself. I spent the next couple of days gathering all the evidence I could find, screenshots, recordings, messages. I knew I had to be prepared because she was good at lying, and I didn't want to be taken for a fool again. As I sifted through everything, I kept replaying that moment during the celebration, seeing her in my mind with that bitchy sneer on her face, pretending to be innocent. It made me want to scream. One thing that kept running through my mind was how she always acted so bitchy and dismissive. She'd blow off my concerns, call me jealous, accuse me of overreacting. But now, I saw her for what she really was, a manipulative, selfish woman who'd sleep with her damn advisor just to get ahead or feel desired. That realization made me furious. I thought about how she lied to her friends, to her family, acted like she was the victim when she was the one cheating and sneaking behind my back. I couldn't believe I married such a manipulative bitch, but the truth is, I had been blind, or maybe I just didn't want to see it. I decided I needed to confront her one last time, but I wanted to do it on my terms. Not in some heated shouting match, but in a way that I could control the situation. I had to call her out, lay everything bare. I knew she'd try to deny, lie her way out of it, call me paranoid again, but I was done playing nice. I was tired of her bitchy attitude, her lies, her manipulations. I wanted her to face what she'd done, even if it meant ripping the Band-Aid off and hurting her as much as she hurt me. That night, I sat her down in the living room, my heart pounding. She looked at me with that same bitchy glare, like she didn't think I was capable of catching her. I pulled out my phone, showed her the screenshots of the messages with Chris, proof that she had been sneaking around, that she'd been lying for weeks. Her eyes widened for a second, then her expression shifted into that angry, bitchy mask she always wore. "You're crazy, Jake," she snapped. "You're making shit up because you're insecure. I was just talking to Dave about my research, nothing more. You're overthinking everything as usual." I shook my head. "No, Emily, I've had enough. I saw the messages, the pictures. You lied to me during graduation while I was celebrating with my family. You cheated on me and you're just trying to brush it off like it's nothing." I saw her lips tighten, her eyes narrowing into that bitchy glare. She started to argue, to deny, but I cut her off. "You're a bitch, Emily. You're selfish and manipulative. I trusted you, and you threw that all away for some bullshit affair with Dave. How could you do that to me in my own house, while I was taking pictures with my family? How could you be so damn callous?" Her reaction was classic. She started screaming, calling me paranoid, accusing me of spying and stalking her. "You're crazy, Jake. You're just jealous because I'm smarter and more successful than you. You can't handle that I don't need you anymore." That was her go-to, twist everything around to make herself the victim. I felt like I was losing my mind, but I knew I'd made the right choice. I couldn't stay married to someone who disrespects me so openly, who betrays me and then gaslights me into doubting myself. I told her I was done, that I was filing for divorce, that she could keep her lies and her bullshit. I was angry, but I also felt a strange sense of relief, like I'd finally seen her real face, and I wasn't going to let her manipulate me anymore. I packed a bag that night, left her standing there with her bitchy smirk, and went to stay at a friend's place. I needed space to breathe, to think, to figure out what I really wanted. Now I just feel numb most days. The betrayal runs deep, and I keep asking myself how. I missed all the signs, how blind I was to her bitchy attitude, her lies, her manipulations. But I also know one thing: this isn't just about her cheating. It's about her playing me for a fool, about her disrespecting the vows we made. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I do know I won't be with someone who treats me like an idiot. Honestly, I don't even know if I want her back, or if I want to rebuild anything. Right now, it's just about surviving this mess and trying to move on. I've learned that trust is fragile, and when it's broken the way it was with her, it's almost impossible to repair. But I also learned that I need to respect myself enough to walk away from someone who treats me like garbage. That's what hurts the most, knowing I was blind, knowing I let her get away with so much, and realizing that maybe I deserve better. Every day since that confrontation has been a roller coaster. Some days I feel numb, like I've shut down emotionally because I don't want to get hurt anymore. Other days the anger creeps back in, boiling just under the surface. I keep thinking about all the moments I missed, her bitchy smirks, her dismissive attitude, how she lied so easily about everything. It's like I was living with a stranger all along, someone who was pretending to be the perfect wife, and behind my back she was screwing her advisor, Dave. The worst part is the betrayal in broad daylight, right during graduation. That celebration was supposed to be happy, a milestone, and she was cheating behind my back. I still remember walking around taking pictures with my family, feeling proud of her. And she was in Dave's office, sneaking around, messing around. When I think about it now, I get sick. How could she so effortlessly lie to everyone, including her own family? All those smiles, all those I love you moments, were they just lies too? I started questioning everything about her personality. Was she always bitchy, manipulative, or did I just overlook it? I see now she's good at twisting facts, lying, and pretending she's the victim. Her entire attitude during the confrontation was classic. She played the victim, called me paranoid, called me insecure, like I was the problem. That bitchy tone, the way she snapped at me, acting like I was crazy for catching her cheating. Honestly, it made me despise her even more. And the thing is, I don't see her changing anytime soon. When I left her that night, she was furious, calling me crazy, saying I was jealous, that I was inventing stories. She's always been good at twisting things, that's her thing. When I threatened to divorce her, she threw a fit, calling me possessive and jealous, even though I had concrete proof. That's when I realized how manipulative she is. She'd rather destroy us than admit she made a mistake. I also realized how much I'd been giving her the benefit of the doubt for years. Her bitchy attitude, her dismissiveness, those weren't just personality quirks. They were signs. Signs I ignored because I was blinded by her beauty, her ambition, her convincing lies. Now I see her for what she really is, a selfish, manipulative woman who would sleep with her advisor during my graduation celebration, then lie about it to my face. Some nights I can't sleep. I keep replaying everything, going over the evidence I found, trying to understand how I let it happen, how I was so blind. I used to think I knew her, that we had a real connection. But now I wonder if any of it was real or just her playing her part in this sick game. I feel like a fool. How did I miss the red flags? I thought she was bitchy but loyal. Turns out she's just a master manipulator, and I was the fool trusting her. I've been talking to a couple of friends, trying to get some perspective. They tell me I'm better off without her and that I should move on, but it's not that simple. I still love her, or at least I did. That love is hard to let go of when you find out someone you trusted has been sleeping with another man behind your back. I think about everything we could have had, the future we planned, and how she threw it all away. It's embarrassing, honestly, how much it hurts. The thing is, I'm starting to realize I deserve better. I deserve someone who respects me, who doesn't lie and cheat in broad daylight. I don't want to be with someone who calls me insecure when I catch her in the act, who twists everything to make herself look innocent. She's a bitchy manipulator, and I don't want her in my life anymore. Not as my wife, not as my partner. I know I need to focus on myself now, get my head straight, rebuild my confidence, and move forward. But the pain lingers. It's like I've lost part of myself. I keep asking myself how I let it get this far, how I was so blind to her manipulations. And I keep wondering if she'll ever admit what she did, or if she'll keep pretending she's innocent. Honestly, I don't care anymore. I want to move on from her, from this mess, but I know I'll carry this scar for a long time. It's a brutal lesson about trust, manipulation, and how some people will do anything to get what they want, even if it destroys everything in the process. It's been a few weeks since I kicked her out and decided I wasn't going to be part of her twisted game anymore. The house feels empty now, even with all her bitchy attitude gone. I've been staying with a close friend trying to sort through what's next. Honestly, I don't know if I want to reconcile or just cut her out entirely. Part of me still hopes she'll come clean, admit she screwed up, because I want to believe there's some part of her that's human, that she's capable of remorse. But deep down, I know that's probably wishful thinking. Every day, I wake up with this gnawing ache in my chest. I keep replaying that day, her lying, her bitchy tone, her dismissiveness. It's like I can still hear her words echoing in my head. You're paranoid. You're insecure. And her smug little smirk whenever I brought up the evidence. That bitchy attitude of hers. She's always been good at acting like she's better than everyone else. And now I see she's just a manipulative, selfish woman who'd sleep with her advisor in her graduation celebration while I was out there with my family. How sick is that? I've also been trying to understand what went wrong. Was I too blind? Did I ignore the red flags? Her bitchy personality was always there, but I thought it was just her way, her being sharp, demanding, a little bitchy sometimes. But now I see it was more than that. It was her way of controlling everything, making sure she always came out on top. She lied so effortlessly, twisted the truth, and played the victim whenever she was caught. That bitchy veneer was just her shield. Honestly, I've come to realize I was just too trusting. I saw her bitchy attitude and dismissed it as part of her personality. I didn't want to see her as a manipulative liar. I wanted to believe she loved me, that she was the woman I married. But now I get it. She was always more interested in her own success, her own needs. She was willing to screw her advisor, Dave, while I was celebrating with my family. I keep thinking about the fact that she did that during what should have been a proud moment for us. That's when I knew I couldn't stay with her. I've been trying to piece everything together and figure out what I really want. Honestly, part of me just wants to cut her out of my life completely. I don't want to be with someone who treats me like an idiot, who manipulates and lies so effortlessly. I deserve better. I deserve someone who respects me, who doesn't lie about cheating, and who doesn't have a bitchy attitude that masks her selfishness. But there's another part of me that feels guilty, like I failed somehow. Like maybe I should have seen the signs earlier or fought harder to save what we had. I keep asking myself if I could have done something different, if I could have prevented this. But then I remember how she lied, how she manipulated, how she was so bitchy and dismissive even before I found out. It's clear now that this wasn't just about cheating. It was about her character. That bitchy, manipulative side of her was always there, just waiting for the right moment to explode. Now I'm trying to rebuild my confidence. I've been talking to friends, trying to get perspective. They tell me I'm better off without her, that she's a liar and a manipulator. I know they're right, but knowing that doesn't make the hurt go away. I still feel betrayed, humiliated, and angry. I wish I could just forget everything, but that's not how the human mind works. I keep thinking about all the moments I missed, her bitchy attitude, her dismissiveness, the way she lied to everyone, including herself. I've started working on myself, going to the gym, trying to get into a routine. I don't want to be the guy who got played and lied to by his wife. But honestly, part of me still feels broken. I look at myself in the mirror and wonder how I didn't see her for what she was, this manipulative, bitchy woman who'd sleep with her advisor behind my back. I keep asking myself if I'll ever truly trust anyone again, or if I'll just be forever scarred by this betrayal. One thing I do know is I won't lie to myself anymore. I won't pretend everything's okay when I know it's not. I deserve honesty, respect, and someone who values me. That bitchy attitude, her manipulative lies, those aren't qualities I want in a partner. I've learned the hard way that trusting blindly only ends in heartbreak. I guess what I want now is to move on, to find what's truly worth holding on to. Maybe someday I'll forgive her, or maybe I won't. But for now, I'm just trying to survive this mess, learn from it, and rebuild myself. It's been a while since I made the decision to end everything with Emily, and honestly, I feel like I'm starting to breathe again. The house is still empty, and I've moved into a new place, trying to carve out a space for myself that isn't tainted by her bitchy attitude or her manipulations. Every day, I remind myself that I deserve honesty, respect, and someone who genuinely cares about me, not someone who sneaks around behind my back, lying, cheating, and acting like they're better than everyone else. Looking back, I realize how much I'd been blind. I always thought her bitchiness was just her personality, sharp, demanding, maybe a little bitchy sometimes. But now I see it was part of her manipulative nature, a defense mechanism to control everything around her. Her lies, her dismissiveness, those were her ways of keeping herself in power, and she didn't care whose feelings she trampled on as long as she got what she wanted. The betrayal cuts deep, but I'm learning to live with it. I've accepted that I can't change her, not anymore. The only thing I can do is change how I respond. I've come to realize that holding onto anger and resentment only keeps me chained to the past, and I refuse to let her define my future. I've started focusing on myself, working out, reconnecting with friends, and trying to rebuild my confidence. It's not easy, but I know I deserve better. One thing I've learned from this nightmare is that you can't ignore the red flags or dismiss the bitchy attitude as normal. Sometimes, those little signs of manipulation and selfishness are just the surface of a much darker personality. And when you finally see through the mask, it's brutal. You feel stupid, humiliated, and betrayed because someone you trusted turned out to be a fraud. But I also realize that it's better to confront the truth than live in denial. I don't think I'll ever forget what happened, but I do think I'll learn from it. I've learned that trust is fragile, and once broken, it's almost impossible to repair. I've learned that some people are just manipulative and selfish, and the bitchy attitude is their shield. Most importantly, I've learned that I don't need someone like her in my life. I need someone who respects me, who treats me with kindness, not contempt. To anyone out there going through something similar, just know you're not alone. It hurts, it's confusing, and sometimes it feels like the world's crashing down around you. But time heals and you'll come out of it stronger. Keep your head up, trust yourself, and never settle for someone who dismisses or manipulates you. You're worth more than that. The pain will fade, and someday you'll look back and realize you're better off without the person who tore you down. I've got a long road ahead, maybe more heartbreak, maybe some healing. But I'm done with the lies, the betrayal, and the bitchy manipulations. I'll rebuild my life on honesty and respect, and I'll never let anyone treat me like I'm lesser again. Emily was a lesson, a brutal one, but one I won't forget. From now on, I'll remember that I deserve real love, something genuine, something that doesn't come with lies or betrayal. And that, for me, is worth everything.